Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Courtney Pollock, and I am the Customer Marketing Coordinator at SWK Technology, and I'm going to be today's host. We're so excited to have you on today's session, Acumatica times Excel, how to bridge the gap. We'd love to hear where you're joining us from today. We're going to get started in just a moment. We have just a few housekeeping items to go over, and then we're going to hand things off to our wonderful presenter from Velixo. So throughout the session, we have the chat over there. I'm coming to you from Loveland, Colorado. We have a sunny day today, starting to get some fall weather, which I'm excited about. Like I said, we'd love to hear where you're joining us from. You can put that in the chat on the right-hand side of your screen. Everyone has been placed on mute to keep the background noise to a minimum, but again, that does not mean we don't want to hear from you. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end, so you can ask questions throughout the session at any time. You can put them in the chat. You can put them in the actual Q&A section. I'll find them either way, and when we get towards the end, I'll make sure that today's presenter, Hamza, is able to answer those questions for you. So put them wherever it works for you. We're just happy to hear from you. We're also going to send out the recording of today's session tomorrow afternoon. So if you have to hop early for some reason, or you have a colleague that's unable to join, don't worry. We're going to send you that recording to your email tomorrow afternoon. You can also catch our recorded webinars and other helpful content around your Acumatica, tutorial videos, things like that on our YouTube channel. So that is another great place to look for the recording and check out other videos. So I see we've got some people. It looks like we might be covering East and West Coast today. So that's awesome. We've got Connecticut, Arizona, Nevada, St. Louis. That's awesome to hear from you all. We're excited to have you with us today. So with that said, it looks like we're right on time. We're going to dive right in, and I'm going to bring Hamza from Velixo on stage so he can tell us everything we need to know about connecting Acumatica to Excel.
Well, thanks for the intro, Courtney, and hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to be your host from the Velixo site today. We're going to start off with a brief presentation of the Velixo company. So I'll tell you essentially how it came to life, what is the problem that we address, how do we solve it. Right after that, it is going to be followed by a live demo of the Velixo tool. Feel free to input your questions while I'm moving along with the presentation again, as Courtney explained a few minutes ago. And yeah, with that being said, let's kick it off. So essentially, what is Velixo? First thing first, Velixo is just an Excel add-in that serves as a live and bidirectional connector between Excel and Acumatica. So in other words, it will empower you to effortlessly export all the data that lives in Acumatica in live, and this is an important piece, to Excel, kind of perform your magic on it. And once it's done, you can seamlessly push that data back to Acumatica if necessary. For the little story, we were founded in 2017 by Gabriel Michaud, who is an ex-Acumatica leader who saw the opportunity to build our software as an Excel add-in after witnessing for so many years that users kept going back to Excel for their reporting, budgeting, and analysis needs. Fast forward a couple of years, Acumatica has consistently awarded us top application in their ecosystem, and G2 has awarded us users most likely to recommend. Now we operate in all time zones, thanks to a distributed team as you can see on the map. We currently serve a little over 2,500 customers and work with over 220 VARs. Okay. Last year only, we were able to onboard a little bit over than 700 new customers from the Acumatica ecosystem alone. Now, with that being said, what is the problem that we solve? Okay. So essentially, we're looking at the problem with manual spreadsheets. And the problem with manual spreadsheets resolves a few issues. First thing first, it's a completely disconnected experience, and data becomes obsolete the second you export it to Excel. And for this reason, it becomes repetitive and time consuming to produce reports. And it's also incredibly error prone, and governance issues can happen as it gets challenging to manage document access and security for your home team. And on top of that, any changes made to that data in Excel would only be transferable to Acumatica by manually entering it, which is highly inefficient. Now, here's the solution to this problem, introducing to you guys the Velixo tool. So our Excel add-in can be installed from Excel and configured to connect to Acumatica within minutes. I'll walk you through the installation process in a few seconds. It offers real-time reporting experience with full exploration capabilities in Excel and in Acumatica. And on top of that, it comes with samples to get you started. Okay, so we've got ready-made templates that you can use as a plug and play. It allows you to write data back to Acumatica for scenarios like budgeting, forecasting, automation of business processes. You can write back to the general ledger, project management module, or any other module that lives inside of your Acumatica instance. It's fully self-service. It won't require much training to master it thanks to our native Excel-like functions. We're going to build a quick report together today, and you're going to have the chance to look at the formulas in action. And it lets you connect to the Velixo tool using your Acumatica credentials. And this is a big piece because we are essentially going to be mirroring the exact same level of permissions and security. So you don't have to worry about data governance. And lastly, it's Excel. So users benefit from the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem for a better governance, collaboration, and automation overall. And now here's a slide of some of our happy customers. As you can see, we can be used in different types of industries and various types of businesses. I don't know if we have any fans in the audience, but KFC was actually our very first customer, KFC France to be specific. Now, I'll quickly stop screen sharing the PowerPoint deck, and we're going to take this to Excel to kick off our demo. So I really wanted to start off a blank spreadsheet today. Again, just to walk you through the installation process. And we're going to take a few minutes to build a quick trial balance from scratch. I really want you guys to see how easy it is to go ahead and build any type of reports using this tool. But by any means, you will not need to go through this process every time you want to use the Velixo tool. So essentially, with the Velixo tool, you'll only need to build your reports once, and moving forward, they are just going to be templates that you're going to be able to update essentially with the most recent data directly from Acumatica. Now, with that being said, first thing first, let's get the Velixo add-in going. So again, to get it installed, you can do it directly from Excel using the little add-in section right here. So click on it, use the search bar to look for Velixo, and once you found it, you can simply press the add button. So the installation process is very swift and easy. And it looks like adding any other Chrome extension to your browser. I'm thinking about a pop-up blocker, which is probably the most common one. Now, once you've gone through the process, you'll notice this Velixo icon here on your home screen, as well as this Velixo tab right here on the ribbon. Now, if I click on the tab, you'll notice we've added multiple features to Excel, with one of them being the ability to drill down, for example. Pretty solid feature. It is going to come in really handy for scenarios where you're going to require to do some reconciliation, for example. And we've also added about 90 Velixo formulas. So if I click on the little FX right here to insert a function, and then I use the drop down towards the end, you'll notice we've added a whole new section called Velixo. And this is where all the Velixo formulas live. Formulas are kind of broken down by topic. So you're going to have your financial formulas that you're going to use to go ahead and communicate with the finance module to be able to build any type of financial statements. I'm thinking P&Ls, balances, cash flow statements, whatever it may be. You're going to have project formulas that you're going to use to go ahead and communicate with the project module to build any type of project management reports. I'm thinking WIPs, cost to completes, GTDs, again, anything related to that. You're going to have generic inquiry formulas, which you're going to use again to communicate with any other module that lives inside of your Acumatica instance. Now, before we're going to be able to build the trial balance, of course, we're going to need to go through that connection process. So first thing we'll do is connect Acumatica and Excel via the Velixo connector. So to do so, I'm going to use the connection manager on the top left corner right here. I'll click on it, pops up a connection pane on my right, and I'll just need to follow the steps right here. I'm already connected, but I'll walk you through the process quickly. So first thing first, it is going to prompt you to pick a name for your connection. Always try to keep this one short because you're going to have to reference it in the Velixo formulas. Next, you're going to need your URL, which you can simply copy and paste from your Acumatica login page. And then you're going to need to specify your tenant. So in my demo instance, I do have a multi-tenant setup. I am going to start by connecting the first one, company. So I'll specify my URL, my tenant, and in here, I'll input the exact same credentials I'll use to log into Acumatica right here. Matter of fact, let me quickly connect. And there you go. Now, you probably see it coming, but I was telling you about the multi-tenant setup earlier. It's because if I just connected my first tenant company, it means that I can always go ahead and add a second, third connection, whatever, to go ahead and connect my other tenants. And yes, this is a question that kind of comes up quite often. Am I able to pull and push data simultaneously from multiple tenants? The answer is yes. And it's actually, again, going to be very solid for scenarios where you're going to require to do some consolidation. Now, for our trial balance, we're going to need accounts, names, and balances. And by the way, please excuse any typos as I'm moving along with building this trial balance on the fly. Again, the idea here is just for you to get the dynamics behind the tool and understand how the formulas execute and so on and so on. So to pull my chart of accounts, I'm going to use one of those financial formulas that we've put into a button right here called Insert Chart of Accounts. And insert. And there you go. Now, essentially, if you look at the formula box, this is what we're executing right now. So expand account range from my demo instance. If you remember in the connection manager, I named my connection demo earlier. Okay. If I wanted to keep things simple, I could have probably just went for SWK as a connection name, let's say. Now to pull my account names, I'll use another Velixo formula, which is called account name. Okay. And as I'm moving along with building this trial balance, there's two things that you'll notice. First thing first, our formulas are Excel-like formulas. And you'll always have this little window help that pops up, kind of acting as your coach here. Okay, so now I know that, for example, I need to input my connection name, all right, demo, and I need to specify an account. For this example, I'll just specify the whole set. And there you go. Now we have a nice little code on our website, and I kind of find it pretty accurate. Uh, well, it says, if you know how to Excel, you know how to Velixo. Second piece, I've already kind of explained it at the very beginning, but I always like to put the emphasis on it. Um, all of the reports that you're going to build here on Excel using the Velixo tool will always showcase dynamic information. Meaning, if I go back to Acumatica in my chart of accounts and I change one of my account names right here, okay, as soon as I save the change in Acumatica and I come back to my spreadsheet and I use the refresh functionality right here on the top left corner, the name change will reflect right away. Now, to pull my balance, I'm going to need to add a few additional parameters, such as a ledger, let's work with actual, and a financial period. Okay, I can refine based off branches and sub accounts, but just to keep the example short, I'm going to stick to the essential, and I'll be sure to highlight a little bit more complete example in a few minutes. Now from here, to pull the balance, I'm going to use account ending balance or account beginning balance based off my needs. And you'll also notice that formulas are pretty straightforward. So putting the account name, the formula is called account name. Putting the balance is either called account beginning balance or account ending balance. Pulling the turnover is called the account turnover, and so on and so on. So now I'll specify again my connection name, so demo. I'll specify my ledger, so let's work with actual. I'll specify an account. I won't use sub-account, won't use branch, and I'll specify my financial period. By the way, if you ever need help with any of the formulas, you can always click on the little help section right here, or directly from the little window help, you can press on the hyperlink, and it is going to open our knowledge base for you. Okay, so it is kind of opening now a little cheat sheet for this specific formula. On this formula, you're going to be able, on this cheat sheet, I'm sorry, you're going to be able to find out regarding the syntax, parameter, which one are required, which one are optional. As you can see, for example, for this formula, sub-account and branch are optional parameters. That's why my formula will execute either way. You're going to have a detailed description per parameter to help you locate it inside of Acumatica, and 2 to 3 examples to help you pick it up a little bit more faster. And now on the side, as I'm scrolling, you'll notice that this is available for every single vehicle formula. And again, formulas are broken down by topic, so financial, project, query, and so on and so on. On the same knowledge base, you're going to find a lot of useful resources such as how-to guides, the free templates that you can use as a plug and play, and much more. So I highly encourage you go ahead and browse that space. And from here, I can simply execute my formula. Now I'll quickly format this to dollars to kind of make it look like a proper trial balance and apply to my whole column. Now from here, let's say I want to put two ledgers against each other. So maybe I want to do my budgets versus my actuals. Okay. All I need to do is change parameters in my report. And there you go. As you can see, my column updates in real time. Now back to the actual. Of course, same thing applies for the financial period. And there you go. My column always updates in real time. Now, let's say I want to know the variance between these two financial periods. In this case, this is going to be a simple subtraction, okay, or kind of a simple Excel formula, which is the main idea here. Just wanted to highlight that all of the Excel functionalities and features will continue working perfectly fine. And that's actually going to be very solid for scenarios where you're going to require to do some budgeting, forecasting, or stuff like that. Now, last piece that I want to show you here is a nice little way we've came up with for you to group your accounts, account groups, account classes, inventory line items, for example, and so on and so on. So what I did again, essentially, right here is that I just copied and pasted formulas into these cells. And if I click on my cell A6, you'll now notice that I need to specify accounts or an account for the formula to be able to execute. Let me start with the list. So I can go for my account 10,100. I can go for 10,200. And let's go a bit further now to pick on 15,300. And there you go. Now, I can also prompt it to do a range, not necessarily a list. So from 10,100 up to 15,300. Or you can also use wildcards. So let's say you want to pull maybe for all of the accounts starting with 11, simply complete the number of digits with question marks. And you have the option to exclude as well. Let's say you don't want 11,500, simply type minus 11,500. Again, question that kind of comes up quite often when I showcase this part is, will this work to filter out base stuff sub-accounts that are using a combination of letters and numbers? Yes, it will. So if you guys have any questions in regards to this trial balance we've just built, please go ahead and input your questions in the chat or in the Q&A section. We're going to be looking at that in a few minutes. I already see a few messages popping off, so I am definitely going to be taking a quick look at that later on. So yeah, as you can see, it is quite simple to go ahead and build any type of reports in here. If I wasn't explaining, I would have probably been able to build this trial balance in under 2 minutes. And the good news is I do not need to build it from scratch the next time I need it. I can simply save it now, and I have my template ready made. So I am currently on a financial sample pack that is available on that knowledge base. So you can take advantage of all these reports. It has a standard P&L, consolidated one, put in branches side by side, a trailing one, cash flow statement, and so on and so on. I mean, I'll let you guys go ahead and explore these templates at your convenience. Okay. All reports are built in a dynamic fashion, meaning I can use the little drop down list right here to toggle between my branches. As you can see, for example, right here, I'm in a consolidated view. I can pick on my Western branch, let's say, and there you go. My PNL updates in real time. And you'll notice it will even go ahead and truncate it, meaning it will hide the 0 rows automatically for me. Now, back on this consolidated view, if I click on the little plus right here, you'll notice that we are using that listing technique to pull our cells right here. Okay, we are using the wildcard technique to pull our cost of goods sold, and in here we are simply individually listing our operating expenses accounts. Now, for you guys that are a bit curious about how this thing works with the drop-down list, essentially, if I click on the formula right here, you'll notice that we are filtering based off branches right here. And essentially, instead of inscribing the name of my branch right here, we've just decided to create a dropdown. And every time you toggle between branches on your dropdown, it changes it inside the Velixo formula, which leads to a recalculation or a recomputing of that specific formula, which then updates your P&L. Now, what I want to show you here is the drill down functionality. So let's say you want to know what is this number made of, your total expenses, the $510,000. You can simply click on the cell and then click on drill down right here up top. And it is going to open a new sheet for you. There you go, this one right here, listing all the transactions involved in that number. So from here, I already have a solid picture. I can check the description, under which account this is assigned, sub-account and department, if any, branch, and I even have a little bit more in the numbers view on the side right here. Now, I can dig even further. So let's say I click on View Transactions on my left. It is now going to open Acumatica for me on that specific transactions page. Just give it a second to load, and there you go. So earlier on my spreadsheet, I was seeing that that was a travel expense. Now I can see that this is a night at the Hilton, and from Acumatica, I can dig even further to go ahead and pull the actual invoice for this specific transaction. I've just performed drill down on a financial statement, but of course, could be done on any other type of reports For example, if you do it on a project management report, it will go ahead and drill down to those tasks or those cost codes. Now, next piece is the distribution list. So this distribution list is a bit lighter on formulas and accounting, but very solid. It will save you tons of time, especially if you're sharing reports on a recurring basis. So from this specific template, you'll have the ability to first thing first choose under which format you want to share your reports. Excel, you can choose to remove the Velixo formulas in case you're sharing with somebody that doesn't have access to Velixo. You can share it under a PDF format and so on and so on. File name is self-explanatory. You can simply name your report. Tab selection in here, you are prompted to select which sheets from this workbook you want to share with this contact. Folder path. If you're using a cloud saving solution, you can simply input the folder path in here and it is going to save it into that space. And from here, relatively simple to email contacts, subject, body, and you're good to go. So once you filled out this template, you can simply click on distribute all right here, and it is going to kick off the distribution via Outlook using the exact same email address as you've used to log into Excel itself right here. So there's a lot more to this feature. For example, you can have it automated using Task Scheduling Manager. You can refresh reports automatically before sending them out. If any of you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about it, or if you want us to help you get the most out of it, just let us know, and we'd be more than happy to chat with you. Now, next piece is looking at the query formulas. So let me run a quick recap here before we continue. So far, we've mainly looked at computing financial formulas, communicating with the finance module right here to be able to build financial statements. Okay, we haven't touched much of the project formulas because they do work with the exact same logic and dynamics. It just instead of leveraging them with the finance module, you're going to be leveraging them with the projects module to be able to go ahead and pull project estimates, for example, and any other type of relevant data that you might need from Acumatica. And now we're going to look at the query formulas or the generic inquiry formulas that you're essentially going to be able to leverage with any of these modules, meaning inventory, purchases, APs, ARs, does not matter, sales orders, all of them. Matter of fact, let's run it with AP Builds. If I click on AP Builds, now inside of Acumatica, you're going to be able to spot this Velixo button right here. If you don't have it yet, no sweat. You'll simply need to download and publish a customization package, and it is going to pop off on your instance. So this Velixo button right here is just a shortcut to the formula I'm going to execute right now. And every time you're able to spot this Velixo button inside of one of your Acumatica pages, you'll know that you will be able essentially to use these GI formulas. Okay. So I already have the report ready made in this page, but I'll do it for you guys from scratch to get the dynamics behind it. So what I'll do right now, I can simply press that Velixo button and it's essentially going to give me the exact same result, but I prefer to quickly go over the formula. It's going to be recorded. So if you guys want to review it later, you'll have it. So essentially, I'll do GI for generic inquiry, and you'll notice we have GI filter, GI lookup. I'll be sure to use one of them in a minute. And from here again, I'll follow my coach's instruction. So demo and the name of my generic inquiry, so AP builds and adjustments, and enter. And now what it is going to do, there you go, was lightning fast. It is going to export all of the columns that live inside of my Acumatica page right here. Okay, so all of these columns right here have been exported to Excel. Not in the exact same order, but all of them are there. Now, for reporting purposes, you probably do not need all of these columns, and you are now going to go through a data cleaning process, meaning you're going to have to delete the columns that you do not need, and so on and so on. Do not do this. This is going to kill the dynamic aspect of your report and force you to build it from scratch every single time. What you want to do instead is go back to your formula and edit it. So I'll say, for example, I only want to have my vendor column and status. And there you go. I don't know if you noticed, but it first thing first erased all of the columns and pulled the two that I prompted in my formula. Now, again, I can filter through this information, but rather than using the local Excel filtering techniques, I can set up a dynamic filter, which is exactly what I did in this case. So let's say I want to have my vendor as transit and status as closed. I'll simply use GI filter, okay, for builds and adjustments again, and set up my criteria. Now, when I go back to my initial formula, you'll notice that if I click right here, coach says that this is the spot to input my filter. So I'll just input my filter in the right spot, and that does the trick. And of course, now from here, if I change parameters, boom, my report updates in real time. So if you guys have any questions regarding generic inquiries, please go ahead and input them in the chat section. We're going to be looking at that in a minute. I'll quickly close it off, covering writebacks. So essentially, there are four different types of writebacks, and writebacks allow you to push data back from Excel to Acumatica. You can push back journal transactions, budget, project progression, and universal writeback. This one you can literally just view it as an import tool. Matter of fact, GI formulas allow you to export any type of data from Acumatica to Excel. Universal writeback allows you to push back any type of data from Excel to Acumatica. Let's pick on this specific example to push these journal entries back from Excel to Acumatica. I'll quickly change my GL rate right here to have a little something to work with and push back. So I'll simply click on Perform Write Back, Current Sheet, and it is going to take a few seconds for it to automatically open Acumatica for me on the journal transactions page. There you go. So now from here, I can double check my entries. If everything makes sense, I can simply remove the hold and release to officially post it to Acumatica. Okay. So budget write back works with the same dynamics. These are all templates that you can, of course, customize based off your needs. Let's say, for example, you deal with project accounting. You're going to have the ability to go ahead and add these columns. Okay. Budget write back, again, as I mentioned, will work the exact same way. You're going to have the little blue box concept to specify where you're writing back to in Acumatica. And this table you can literally customize to budget or forecast on anything. And again, project write back works with the same dynamics. And universal write back, as I mentioned, this one you could literally just view it as an import tool that you can leverage to bulk import literally anything to Acumatica. So with that being said, I'll close off the demo right here and quickly go back to my PowerPoint deck. I'll quickly, yep. So everybody who's attended today's webinar, you guys are eligible to a 15-day free trial of the Velixo tool, full access. So please go ahead and take advantage of it. Once you start getting your feet wet with the tool, you're probably going to have a little bit more questions that do come to your mind. Do not hesitate to reach out. I'll be more than happy to assist you through the process. And the great news is that if you decide to move forward within that trial period, you get to enjoy an exclusive discount over 3 consecutive years. So it's going to be 20, 15, and 10. And I'll emphasize that this is not a commitment. This is just an incentive. Now, let me quickly take a look at this chat section. And to reassure you, I know we only have about 3 to 4 minutes left. Any questions that we're not able to answer today, will be sure to save your name and get in touch with you post-session. Courtney, did you want
Yes.
to lead this part here, please?
Yes, thanks, Hamza. So, as Hamza just said, today was a super quick sneak peek of things. We wanted to fit as much as possible in this 30-minute session, but there's a lot more to explore. So you should definitely take advantage of that 15-day free trial. We just launched a poll on the right-hand side of your screen. You can let us know if you want to take advantage of that trial offer. If you want to go ahead and learn more about the potential 3-year discounts, again, not a commitment, just an extra promotion that we're doing for this webinar. Also, if you want to see maybe a more personalized demo, anything like that, let us know. We'd be happy to connect you with Hamza's team and Velixo, along with your SWK account manager. And you can always reach out to us at webinars@swktech.com or let us know in the poll. We'd be happy to help. So I do know we have just a couple minutes before we have to wrap. I think we covered some of the questions in the chat. One question I don't think got covered, though, Hamza, is that this person asked, is it possible to have an Excel sheet automatically refresh anytime Velixo data is updated without a script?
Let me click on the Q&A because I think I'm going to have to read through it. Is it possible to have an Excel sheet automatically refresh anytime Velixo data? I am not sure I understand this question. So Garrett, if you could please get in touch with us to discuss it further, because there are always workarounds to get the sheet update automatically, essentially. Let's get in touch to discuss this one further.
Perfect. Yes, we can definitely follow up on that question and get a little bit more detail from you, make sure we get it fully answered. We do know there is that, super easy refresh button in Excel itself. So that's great, but let's dive into that a little bit more. For other questions, did we cover the one about reports in AR and AP modules?
Actually, I spotted that question from Tony, confirming that this will work for AP and AR modules. We actually have ready-made templates for AP and AR agent. If you want to go ahead and take a quick look at those templates and see if that work for you. But if you're looking to do anything else with those modules, I don't know, maybe if you want to process invoices for the AR modules, or maybe you want to do something else, just get in touch with us. It's certainly very, very feasible. And I can see another question from Tanya asking about inventory. Yes, you can do a lot actually with inventory, and we do have ready-made inventory templates. For example, one that's going to give you your items on hand, the inventory valuation, inventory turnover, and much more. So you're going to be using the GI formulas to cover for that part. Just instead of specifying, for example, the AP module, same as I did, you would specify inventory. I don't know, maybe inventory receipts or whatever you're looking for. So same thing, Tanya, please get in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to discuss it further.
Great. It's awesome that there are some inventory options there. So we are out of time. So we're going to transition over here. We want to thank you all for spending some time on today's session. I do see that we had one question about someone said they already are a Velixo user. This one just came through and they want to know where they can go to get detailed lessons. I know Velixo has a ton of resources on how to use their tool. So we will make sure to include that information in tomorrow's follow-up email with the recording. So if that was your question, we'll make sure you get those resources and we'll also include them in tomorrow's follow-up email with the recording. So keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions, if you did get a chance to let us know in the poll that you want to take advantage of the offer, just reach out to us at info@swktech.com and we'll be happy to connect you with Velixo and the team. So thank you, Hamza, for a great sneak peek at all the things Velixo can do. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.